In part 1, we saw how two clubs with very different origins, Rangers, born from a group of working-class lads in 1872, and Celtic, founded as a charity for Glasgow's Irish Catholic poor in 1888, quickly rose to dominate Scottish football. Now, we step into the first half of the 20th century, when the old firm rivalry became a powerhouse of sport, a reflection of a city divided and an obsession for generations. The years leading up to the First World War saw some fierce encounters. Cup finals between the two were legendary, often drawing over 60,000 fans to Hampden Park, a staggering number for the era. These matches weren't always friendly, both on and off the pitch. The terraces could be intimidating places, with chants and banners reflecting political and religious identity. Rangers began a period of dominance under legendary manager Bill Struth, who joined the club in 1920 and stayed for 34 years. Struth's Rangers set high standards, winning multiple league titles and cups, and establishing the club's culture of discipline and pride. On the Celtic side, Jimmy McGrory became a club icon. Between the mid-1920s and 1930s, McGrory scored an incredible 550 goals in competitive matches, a British record that still stands. He remains one of the greatest goal scorers the game has ever seen. It was during the 1920s that Rangers were accused of introducing an unwritten policy of not signing Catholic players, a stance that would last for decades and fuel bitterness from the Celtic side. This was never officially confirmed in writing, but the lack of Catholic players in Rangers' squads spoke volumes. Celtic, meanwhile, embraced their Irish heritage more openly, flying the Irish tricolour and identifying with the Catholic community in Scotland. The rivalry was now firmly tied to identity as much as results. The rivalry wasn't without tragedy. On April 5, 1902, during a Scotland v England match at Ibrox, just 2 years after Rangers moved into the ground, the wooden West Stand collapsed due to heavy rainfall and poor construction. 25 people were killed and over 500 injured. Although this wasn't an old firm match, it left a mark on the city's football scene and led to changes in stadium safety design. The disaster would be a dark shadow over Ibrox for years to come. In 1931, the rivalry was shaken by the death of Celtic's 22-year-old goalkeeper John Thomson. During an old firm match at Ibrox, he dived at the feet of Rangers forward Sam English and suffered a fatal head injury. His funeral drew tens of thousands from both sides, proof that, despite the bitter divide, tragedy could unite the city in grief. The 1930s saw the rivalry continue despite global economic depression. Crowds still packed in, and Rangers and Celtic traded titles, though Rangers had the edge under Struth's leadership. Celtic were less consistent in this period, but they still claimed Scottish Cups and had passionate support, with legends like Jimmy Delaney and Willie Maley driving the team. The rivalry's tone hardened. By now, the old firm wasn't just a game. It was a badge of identity, passed down generations. When World War II broke out in 1939, league football was suspended. But the old firm rivalry didn't vanish. Regional leagues and wartime cups kept the clubs going, often with guest players, soldiers stationed in Scotland who'd turn out for either side. Matches during wartime were still fierce, but football provided a rare escape from the grim reality of the conflict. Even with rationing, air raid warnings, and blackouts, fans flocked to see Rangers and Celtic play. By 1945, the old firm rivalry had survived wars, tragedy, and decades of social change. But the post-war era would take things to a new level: record crowds, European adventures, and some of the fiercest matches ever played. That's coming up in Part 3.